I want to talk to you about something coming our way that may deserve an SOS. It's called an ESG score. ESG represents environmental, social, and governance standards of a company's operation. This came about originating back 2004, 2005. The UN Secretary asked major financial institutions to partner with the United Nations and the International Finance Corporation in identifying ways to integrate environmental, social, and governance concerns into capital markets. In other words, they're going to put the woke into capital markets. This study back in 2005 was called Who Cares Wins. ESG is creating a whole new bunch of standards. It used to be, in the good old days, companies were scored on how many people from the area did they employ, was they employed at a fair market rate, were there numerous complaints from the Better Business Bureau, were the consumers generally happy, did their products turn out to have quality, did the company stand behind their products, and were they following the environmental rules that were in place at the time. But now we're going to have ESG, because ESG is going to deal with the company's leadership,
its internal controls, shareholders' rights, executive pay, and audits of wokeness, environmental, social, and governance issues. They've developed a way of reporting organizations to see if a company is actually woke. They're looking at diversity, equity, and other issues that will put a company at legal or reputational risk.
So they did all of this investigation into the companies. Besides the regular company ratings that they might have, they end up with an ESG risk score. Those companies with a good ESG score are deemed that they will be absolute good targets for investors. People will be just waiting in line to invest their money in these companies with good ESG scores. Now, there are many companies across the world right now, across the globe, that are being used for this. A company called Corporate Knights Global 100. Sustainalytics ESG, Dow Jones, Thomson Reuters ESG.
ESG is going to be considering some important woke topics: climate change,
soil and water contamination, renewable energy, and environmental policy. You're going to know things like, are the workers in your factories being treated ethically? Are the facilities regularly inspected? Are they safe to work in? Can an employee take leave when they're sick or for other personal reasons? And do employees earn a living wage? Also going to be looking at the companies. Do they reflect charitable contributions? Do they interact well with their customers? And is the company generally following legal compliance issues, not only for ESG, but for other forms of state and local regulations? And then they'll get into the woke area. Does the board composition represent diverse backgrounds and perspectives? Then they'll be looking at the executive and non-executive compensation programs to compare the company's program. Is it appear to be fair and equitable? So with the big wokeness coming, the ESG steps into play and becomes an increasingly important factor, supposedly, for stakeholders in their investment decisions. ESG stands for environmental, social, and governance. People will be just waiting in line to invest their money in these companies with good ESG scores. Okay, that's going to be it for the woke scores coming about businesses. Thanks very much for watching. Take care. Like, subscribe, share, and feel free to leave a comment.